This is 2023's Saltburn. Warning, spoilers ahead. The film begins with Oliver smoking a cigarette, reflecting on Felix, how charming and adored he was. It's 2006. Young Oliver walks into the Oxford University garden where he sees Felix socializing with other students. Later, during dinner, Oliver meets Michael Gavey, a solitary and brilliant math student prone to emotional outbursts. While waiting for another student during their first session, Oliver shares a bit about himself, boasting that he's read all 50 books from the reading list. However, the professor remains unimpressed. After 20 minutes, another student appears. His name is Farley Stark. Professor Ware recognizes his mother, who studied at the university. The students are tasked with reading their essays aloud. Oliver finishes his essay, but it fails to captivate anyone. However, Farley teases Oliver about his writing style. Despite the teasing, Oliver manages to respond with a sharp comeback, revealing his wit and quick thinking. This sequence introduces Oliver's character. Intelligent, but socially awkward, trying hard to fit in, especially with Felix and the others. It sets the stage for his personal conflict. His desire for belonging and recognition, which will propel his actions throughout the film. As days go by, Oliver sticks to his routine, reading in a library and debating with Mr. Ware. One day, while Michael talks about a Christmas party they weren't invited to, Oliver listens in silence, indifferent to their exclusion. The party unfolds without them, and Oliver calmly plays snooker in the evening. The next morning, as he heads to the library, Oliver notices Felix sitting under a tree near his bike. Felix has a flat tire, and seeing this as an opportunity to connect, Oliver offers to help. Grateful, Felix kisses Oliver on the cheek and drives off, leaving Oliver with an indelible impression of their first meeting. This is a pivotal moment where Oliver's infatuation with Felix begins. It's a simple interaction, but it's meaningful for Oliver, who craves connection and approval, especially someone like Felix, who exudes charm and confidence. Later that evening, Oliver finds himself in the bar with Michael, feeling bored with their usual company. He heads to the bar to order drinks and hears Felix loudly asking him to join his group. Oliver quickly connects with everyone through drinking competitions. When it's Oliver's turn to order alcohol, he realizes he's out of money. Felix notices and steps in, handing him the money, claiming he dropped it. It's a generous gesture, marking the start of Oliver's new life as Felix's friend. He begins spending more time with Felix and his circle, sharing new experiences and meeting new people. Felix opens up about his family, mentioning that Farley's mother is his aunt. When it's Oliver's turn to share, however, he remains silent about his past. He keeps his upbringing, a poor family with mentally ill parents, a secret, knowing it would never compare to Felix's glamorous life. One day, while studying in a library, Michael vents to Oliver, expressing that Felix will eventually get bored of him. Later, Oliver overhears Felix's new girlfriend, Annabelle, making cruel remarks about him, specifically that no one likes Oliver because he's poor. Felix, oblivious to this, doesn't understand. Later that night, as Felix spends a passionate evening with Annabelle, Oliver stands outside smoking, watching from a distance. The following morning, when Oliver visits Felix's place, he's disturbed by the mess and starts cleaning. Felix stops him, admitting that he's not a child and doesn't need help. He then tells Oliver that he has some important things to do, promising to text him later. But Oliver, desperate for attention, goes to the pub and finds Felix hanging out with others, ignoring him. Here, the emotional distance between Felix and Oliver becomes evident. Oliver is desperately seeking validation from Felix, but Felix doesn't prioritize him in the same way. This growing disconnect foreshadows the tension that will define their relationship. Oliver rushes out to the street and heads to the school. Upon entering the building, he encounters Annabelle, Felix's new girlfriend, waiting naively for him. She asks him if he has any alcohol. After a brief exchange, they go upstairs. When things start getting tense, Oliver tries to reassure her, saying Felix won't even notice or care about their connection tonight. Annabelle, offended by his dismissiveness, storms out, leaving Oliver alone. The next morning, Oliver receives a phone call from his mother, informing him that his father has died. Grieving and feeling isolated, he turns to Felix for support. Felix consoles him and advises Oliver to go home to be with his family. However, Oliver insists he can't miss his exams, saying they're all he has. After the exams, Felix and their friend Farley greet him, but Star teases Oliver about the worn-out sleeves on his outfit. Later, Felix takes Oliver to a bridge and shares a family tradition. When someone dies, they carve their name into a stone and toss it into the river. While drinking and reminiscing, Oliver confesses he doesn't want to go home because of the painful memories associated with it. Felix kindly invites him to Saltburn, his family estate, saying it won't be a problem. Oh, Felix, you're a true MVP. Offering comfort, family traditions, and a mansion stay? Talk about friendship goals. Meanwhile, Oliver's got secrets brewing like a pot of overly dramatic tea. Soon, Oliver arrives at Saltburn and is immediately scolded by Duncan, the butler, for showing up early. Duncan escorts him inside where Felix is waiting. Felix gives him a quick tour, shows him his room, and leaves him to settle in. While unpacking, Oliver hears laughter echoing from another room and, curious, ventures out. He stumbles upon Venita, Felix's sister, in one of the rooms before reaching the source of the noise. There, Lady Esplith Catan greets him warmly. She compliments his looks, sympathizes with his loss, and introduces him to Pamela, a troubled house guest dealing with addiction. He also meets Sir James, the family patriarch, who's pleased to meet Felix's new friend. At dinner, Felix offers Oliver formal clothes for the occasion. During the meal, Oliver has a conversation with Pamela, who shares her turbulent history, including escaping a dangerous Russian gangster boyfriend. She mentions finding a flat in London, promising to leave Saltburn soon. After dinner, Oliver prepares for bed, but notices Venita staring through his window. He goes outside to join her, and she confides in him, explaining Felix's fondness for Oliver. He's genuine, unlike last year's guest. Valentina sounds like she's running a review blog for Felix's friends. This year's model is authentic, unlike Eddie 2022. 2 stars for charm, but 5 for potential drama. The next morning, Oliver is surprised by the family's peculiar breakfast setup, where guests must fetch their own meals except for eggs, which are served by order. Duncan, ever the critic, tries to humiliate Oliver by serving him raw eggs, but Oliver says it's not what he ordered and calmly requests they be taken back, claiming they'd upset his stomach. Later, the young people of the household enjoy a carefree day of sunbathing without clothes in the field and swimming. In the evening, they gather as a family to watch horror movies. The next day is equally entertaining, filled with playful activities like drunken tennis matches. Oliver impresses Sir James with his knowledge of a famous ceramist, Policy. However, while exploring the estate, Oliver discovers a labyrinth plan and is caught by Duncan, who watches him suspiciously. That night, Oliver spies on Felix in the bathroom, but retreats to drink water, his thoughts clouded by intrigue and envy. Oliver's taking make yourself at home way too literally. First, he's snooping in labyrinth plans, and now he's on bathroom stakeouts? This isn't a mystery novel, dude. This part shows Oliver's internal conflict. He's drawn to Felix's world of privilege, but he's burdened by shame and guilt about his own origins. His silence is a defense mechanism, hiding his true self from the people he admires. While chatting with Lady Esplith in the garden, Oliver learns about Ventinia's struggles with sexual incontinence and bulimia. He tactfully compliments her mother during the conversation, steering the topic toward Pamela and her fabricated sob stories. Oliver's suspicions are confirmed. Pamela's tales of hardship seem exaggerated, designed to elicit pity. Elspeth is relieved someone finally noticed. That night, Oliver spots Ventinia sitting alone outside and approaches her. After complimenting her beauty, he charms her into a euphoric mood, leading to an intimate moment between them. However, their encounter is witnessed by Farley through the window, who deems Oliver's actions foolish. The next morning, Oliver suggests Ventinia eat a croissant to help with her health problems. During the meal, the family discusses the plans for an elaborate dinner with Mr. James's friends, Henry's. Elspeth interrupts with a proposal for a grand celebration of Oliver's birthday, complete with costumes and 200 guests. The idea doesn't thrill Oliver, and Venita abruptly leaves the room. Later, Felix confronts Oliver about Farley's claims of seeing him with Venita. Felix is upset, warning Oliver about the consequences of a romantic entanglement with his sister. Oliver skillfully deflects the accusations, claiming Venita was drunk and tried to kiss him, but he rejected her. Felix seems to buy the story, but reveals a past guest, Eddie, lost their friendship due to a similar situation with Venita. Oliver is dodging accusations like Neo in the Matrix. But seriously, Felix, how many guests need to break your sister rule before you just lock her in the labyrinth? That evening, Oliver sees Venita outside waiting for him, but chooses not to join her, leaving her frustrated. The following morning, Oliver eavesdrops on a tense conversation between Felix and Farley about money and the costs of Oliver's extravagant birthday party. During the dinner, Oliver tries to warn Venita to be more cautious, but she dismisses him coldly. Later, he chats with a strange woman who criticizes her husband and seems to have lost track of how many children she has. While everyone else appears to be having a great time, Oliver and Farley share a brief moment of camaraderie. They bond over their shared struggles of being poor and depending on wealthier friends, but the mood sours when Farley sabotages Oliver by forcing him to sing a humiliating song literally about his life. Furious, Oliver retreats to his room and smashes a glass in anger. In the dead of the night, Oliver sneaks into Farley's room, intending to confront him. However, the tension shifts, and they spend the night together. The next morning, chaos erupts when the house's only black person is accused of stealing something. It's later revealed Farley attempted to steal Sir James's plate collection. Adding to the drama, Elspeth reminisces about her younger days and mentions her trip to London for Pamela's funeral, which deeply unsettles Oliver. So let's recap. We've got romantic tension, theft, and Oliver seducing his way into Farley's room. This party is shaping up to be a Shakespearean drama with a dash of reality TV. The days blur together until Oliver's birthday arrives. Felix hints at a surprise and takes him on a drive, which turns out to be a trip to Prescott, Oliver's hometown. Felix is astonished by the pristine house and quickly realizes Oliver's stories about a dead father and troubled home life were lies. Devastated, Felix refuses to speak to Oliver on the ride back to Saltburn. When they return, Felix confronts Oliver, demanding to know why he lied. Oliver confesses he just wanted to be Felix's friend. Felix, furious and betrayed, announces Oliver must leave after the party. At the party, Oliver tries to talk to Felix, but unsuccessfully. Later, he spots Farley in the costume, who secretly got there, but their brief encounter is tainted by jealousy and hostility. As the night progresses, Oliver finds Felix in the labyrinth with a girl. Interrupting them, Oliver confesses his love and desire for friendship. Felix, unwilling to forgive him, pushes him away. Hurt and defeated, Oliver walks off, vowing to cut ties. The next morning, chaos ensues when Felix's body is discovered in the maze. The family is devastated, and the atmosphere grows even more unhinged as they try to maintain normalcy despite the tragedy. Felix is dead, the family is spiraling, and Oliver's involvement is looking suspicious. Meanwhile, the labyrinth is now officially cursed. Who needs horror movies when you've got this mess? The family gathers to mourn Felix, and they throw a stone with his name into the river. When Oliver is left alone with Felix's things, he starts crying, but soon he undresses and derives pleasure from doing stupid things with the soil. During the private conversation in the bathroom, Venita warns Oliver that he's destroyed their family, likening him to a parasite feeding off their kindness. Their argument ends in a conflicted kiss. The next morning, Oliver discovers Venetia's lifeless body in the bathroom. Her death sends shockwaves through the family, prompting another stone to be thrown into the river. The mounting tragedies weigh heavily on Sir James, who confronts Oliver and urges him to leave Saltburn. Mr. Catton even offers him money to ensure his departure, but Oliver insists on staying, citing Elspeth's fragile state as his reason. However, soon we see him leaving the house and moving to the city. One day, he reads about Mr. James's death. Later, Oliver encounters Elspeth in a cafe, where she reveals plans to leave Saltburn herself. She explains that she's purchased a flat nearby to escape the mounting sorrows of the estate. She apologizes for her husband's harsh behavior, chalking it up to grief, and invites Oliver to visit her. The scene then shifts to a haunting moment. Oliver sits beside Elspeth, now connected to a ventilator. It's revealed that Oliver orchestrated the family's misfortunes. He framed Farley, poisoned Felix, and even killed Venita. He confesses his hatred for the family, blaming them for his own insecurities and failures. In a chilling act of revenge, Oliver pulls the ventilator tube, watching as Elspeth suffocates. Well, Oliver's villain arc is complete. From brooding guest to full-on Shakespeare villain. If revenge is best served cold, Oliver just served up an ice storm. After Elspeth's funeral, Oliver claims the empty estate is his own. He dances through the grand halls, reveling in his perceived victory, keeping a collection of engraved stones representing the family members he destroyed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.